I take pride in my identity. Each story that I tell, there's always an element of who I am, and who I am is very much my culture. My journey in fashion, it's quite an interesting one. I'm actually totally self-taught. I studied accounting, so in my final year I decided to take a gap year. My mom used to sew, so there was that old Singer manually operated sewing machine at home, so I started playing around with that. And in the stuff that I did, I played with color, I played with different silhouette, and that's why I sort of stood out. I applied for the Design Indaba Emerging Creatives. I remember I was so overwhelmed because I walked into this huge space, and for me it was the first time being exposed to a platform that had so many creatives. Amazing thing happened. There was a lot of interest in my stuff, and then I think it was half the day and my stuff was almost sold out. And so that small space of just being that emerging creatives for those few days, it transformed my business and took it to the next level. I see Imprint as this brand that embodies what it means to be an African, not just a South African. When you look at the Imprint aesthetic, it's Afro-futuristic. The Afro part is taken from the fact that I'm an African. I want people, when they talk African identity, I want you to think Imprint, because what I do sort of captures that beautifully, and it celebrates the diversity, it celebrates inclusion, it celebrates all the elements that people overlook when they are celebrating the African identity as a unity. My mom is my biggest inspiration. I draw from her because in my journey in fashion, it was not the easiest one. Having been self-taught, coming from the township, not having finance, and all those things that were working against me. But the fact that she was always there, she was motivating me, and she was always this source of strength for everyone. And you can sort of see her in my collections. Like there's always that softness, there's always that strength, there's always that fluidity in everything that I do, which symbolizes what she stood for. Growing up in the township, there's a different vibe, there's a different take on everything. So there was a lot of having to own something and personalize it. That's where I got this idea that I can be inspired by something, but when I interpret it, there's always going to be that element of personality that you can only get from the township, because the township is very diverse.